now, right now. Right 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 now, right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today, so we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the Vietnam War. The government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the massive movement that's going to be coming in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency over just the next 24 hours. Today, we are going to be talking about why Bitcoin is gearing up, primed and ready for another massive movement. This is going to be the make or break. If Bitcoin rallies here, then Bitcoin is likely off to the races. A $75,000 Bitcoin could be in the cards in just days. If we crash from here, the floor could be very, very, very far away. So, big movement coming up. Want to make sure you guys are safe. Want to make sure you guys are prepared and that you're not going to get annihilated in the wrong kind of trade. And we're going to be talking about how we can most take advantage of this movement that is coming in this bull market. Let's talk today also about how Ethereum is breaking $4,000 and why I believe that Ethereum is going to go vastly higher. We've got content being worked on right now that's coming out this afternoon that you guys are going to love. And I've got a fun announcement as well. I'm selling something, and it's not a product, it's actually a vehicle. And I wanted to let you guys know that I'm selling it because I don't need it anymore. And I would love to see if one of you guys want Crypto Jeb's fill in the blank, and we will talk about that a little bit later. But to start with, let's read some chat. RJ is in chat, said, hey all. Manuel Solorio is in chat, said, good morning, everybody. Joe Bollier is in chat. Crypto Mini Bike is in chat. Solorio. I hope I got that right, man. It's so embarrassing. It's so funny when somebody struggles to say your name, and then they still get it wrong. It's like, man, you thought about it, and you still failed. People do that to me all the time. They're like, Jeeb McAfee. Well, I've been on phone calls with car dealerships and schools and just all kinds of stuff lately, and everybody calls me either McAfee or McAfee. Nobody ever gets McAfee, even though there's a security company. Anyway, Herman Barber's in chat. Philly Skills 1428. Duran, Nightcloud 11. Schmedley B's in chat. Crypto Corey, Party Prepper Blano. Kieran DeLang said, Jeb, Bitcoin all-time high all over the news here in England. Bring in the retail crowd. It's coming. It's coming fast. It is coming fast. Let's get started. Already shopping for my next Harley. Boom. There you go. Mark Cunningham said, what up, Jeb from Dubai? Shout out to Dubai and all of our friends over there. All right, let's get started, guys. We've got a lot to cover today. First thing I want to let you guys know is that Bitcoin is doing Bitcoin is doing spectacularly well. It's sitting at $1.42 trillion in market capitalization. It currently trades at $72,700. And we are pretty much at an all-time high right now. In today's stream, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now because it might end up happening, so I'm just going to get it out there before it happens. Bitcoin is coming up on this ascending trend line, which we're going to talk about. And over the next 24 to 48 hours, Bitcoin is likely going to hit that trend line. If it hits that trend line, the bounce could send Bitcoin parabolic. And if Bitcoin does fall below that trend line, then we're going to likely see a big crash. I, however, think that Bitcoin is going to rally either before we get to that line or we're going to hit that line and we're going to rally from there. And it's funny that I say that because Bitcoin is actually rallying right now. We just hit $73,000 as a new all-time high, $73,006, $73,013 coming in hot. My friends, this may not be the stream that I had planned because it looks like Bitcoin may be deciding to break an all-time high right now. All right, well, give me just a second because I'm going to have to adjust a couple things here. First thing I'm going to want to show you guys as we move on the fly are the order books over on Blowfin. If you guys have not already signed up for Blowfin, you are missing out. There is a depth chart over here on Blowfin that I want to take a look at here. You can see right now that there are a bunch of sells up here right above where we are. This is going to correspond to about $73,000 over on Coinbase and everywhere. So there's a bunch of sellers. A lot of resistance right now, guys. Why? Well, because Bitcoin has so many people in profit right now. There's a large wall eventually, but not right away. Right away, there's not a large wall. One of the most important things that you can do in cryptocurrency technical analysis is to look at the depth charts, because you're going to actually see where the buys and the sells are, and that's what actually constitutes the resistance. So let's come over here on the minute chart. You're going to see that Bitcoin hit a new all-time high of $73,028 just a couple of minutes ago. Bitcoin is gradually rallying all the way up towards new all-time highs. It's so funny. Every time we go live, not every time, but almost every time we go live, Bitcoin's just like, Jeb's live. Let's give him something to talk about. Let's go to all-time high, and that's what happens. So as I was saying at the beginning of this stream, large volatility is coming in. It could be bullish, it could be bearish. There's a lot of questions out there right now, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a volatile time, and I want to go ahead and jump straight on into the warnings that I have for the bulls and the bears right now, because if I don't get it out of the way quickly, then I might miss the chance, because Bitcoin is clearly moving at the very moment. If you are a bull and you are going into a giant long trade, I want you to keep in mind something. This rally is not necessarily going to be void of a corrective movement. I mean, Bitcoin just dropped $500 in an hour. If you're in a big leverage trade right now, you probably just got wiped out. Just in the last 20 seconds. Just in the last 20 seconds, we've dropped $700. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Big volatility is coming in the next 24 hours. Little did I know that we'd be dropping $1,000 in a minute and 51 seconds. This is what I mean. Bitcoin has a lot of volatility right now. And my warning to you, whether you are a bull or a bear, is please be careful. Live to fight another day. If you've ever watched one of those war movies, right? You got the older, experienced general or officer or whatever telling the young buck who's just going to run in there and go get himself killed. Like, I understand that you might get the objective right in front of you, but you're going to die doing that. You will be so much more effective to the cause which you are willing to go and die for if you take the L right now, but you live to fight another day, and we don't have to drag you out of here. It's the same thing in trading, obviously not to the same severity, because we're not dealing with life and death. All glory and honor and respect to our soldiers. But similarly to that situation, we want to live to fight another day. And if you are just going balls to the wall, YOLOing your money in a 100x trade, short or long, I don't care. Guess what? You might make some money, but you're also likely, after doing that a few times, to lose your skin. I know a lot of people that have lost tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars because they had a giant leverage position that they were not ready for, and they did not have a stop loss. So my first warning to you today is there is a lot of volatility going on because these order books are thin. They are thin, man. They are not very big at all, and there's a lot of money bouncing around right now. All right? If you go too hard, then you're going to lose your skin. Live to fight another day. I don't mind if you're under the bench press. We were doing bench press this morning. I don't mind if you're under the bench press and you miss out on that last rep, but you manage to avoid getting your head chopped off because you dropped 225 on your neck. Forgo the last rep and live to bench another day. Forgo the last 1% of profit. Forgo one trade and live to fight another day. The Bible says wealth gained by vanity will be quickly lost. So we want to make sure that we are always, in the same way we would in the gym, in the same way that we would if we were doing cardio and running, in the same way that we would if we were soldiers, we want to use good form, because we know good form over time will produce the results that we're looking for, even if in the short term we miss out on an opportunity or two. It's funny I mentioned that right now, because as I went live, I was saying, look, we're probably about to go into a big rally. We might even see a giant rally right now. This was, in 2 minutes, a 2% drop. If you're on 50x leverage, 60, 75x leverage, you just got liquidated, my friend. That's called not living to fight another day. All right, so made my point. Let's kind of back up and let's get started here on this stream. Since Bitcoin looks like it's not going to be breaking crazy all-time highs, we'll go back to the original plan. First thing I want to let you guys know is that if you are trying to trade, one of the best places to do it is on Blowfin. As you guys can see, they are a sponsor of the channel. I'm very excited about that because they are providing an excellent exchange experience. They have a fiat to cryptocurrency gateway, so you can actually do those kind of transactions there. You can buy and sell there on Blowfin. They've got over 300 spot markets, so if you sign up for Blowfin and you need a market, you're going to find it there. They've got copy trading, which is a way that you can copy other professional traders, and you can actually follow along with the trading that they're doing and make money alongside them without having to take all the risk of making a bunch of trades where you don't know what you're doing. It's a really cool feature, actually. And you can also use leverage. If you're going to use leverage, please be careful. But Blowfin does have access to it, because I know that there are some of you guys out there that know how to make a bunch of money with leverage. You can even go up to 150x. Please don't use 150x unless you really know what you're doing. But the bottom line is, if you do choose to use Blowfin, then they've got pretty much everything that you need. So make sure to check out Blowfin by going to the link in the description box down below. And also, if you deposit any amount of money, more or less, and you do just about any amount of trading, you're going to be getting free money. Go ahead and check this out. If you deposit up to $20,000, you get up to a $1,000 bonus. If you do up to $25 million in trading volume, you will get up to a $2,500 bonus. So shout out to Blowfin, and thank you to them for sponsoring the channel. Let's go ahead and continue along here on our charts, because today I want to talk about why a major movement is coming on Bitcoin and why you need to be prepared for it. I want to share with you guys exactly how to be successful in this coming market. If that's what you want to hear, then let's see a 1 in chat. How are we going to be as successful as we possibly can here in the cryptocurrency space? First thing is first. This market has a massive uptrend that is defining it right now. We've got a lot of market structure on Bitcoin that we talk about, but one of the most important pieces of market structure I want to talk about today is this uptrending level of support right here. It shows up here on the on the regular chart for Bitcoin, but it actually will also show up on the log chart if you draw it right here. Either way, the point is Bitcoin has been rallying and bouncing off of that level over and over again, but it comes back to it. Now, one of my concerns here and why I think we may actually break it to the downside is because once we hit that level last time, we didn't actually bounce very far. That indicates that we're getting a little bit weak, and that would make sense. I'm not mean to disparage Bitcoin, but guys, the market can't go up forever. Guys, we've rallied 90% in 50 days. At some point, there's going to be that big 20 to 30% corrective movement, and I want you guys to be ready for it. And by the way, there is historical precedent that it could happen right after we just broke a couple $1,000s above all-time high. Just because we've got our head above water right now does not mean that we are strong enough to tread water and land our back on top of it. During the 2016-17 bull market, we saw Bitcoin rally above all-time high, and it didn't actually stay above all-time high for that long. You can see here in 2017, the very beginning of 2017, we saw Bitcoin touched all-time high, pulled back for like 4 months, broke above it. We sat up here above all-time high for a little while. We got above water. Whale came up and breached and got some air, and for about 2-3 weeks, then we came back down, and then we broke it because we set a higher low. And that's where the media started coming in. That's where everything started going nuts. My question to you, and I'm gonna give you a 1 or a 2 here to denote this. Do you think we are at the 1 spot or at the 2 spot? In chat, drop a 1 or drop a 2. Vote. Where do you think we are? Do you think the market is right here? We're just barely breaching above all-time high, and then we're going to fall back below briefly, and then we'll break it later? Which I think we're almost certainly going to break it in a big way, but the question is the timing. Or do you think we're at 2 right now? And we had our little back test, because we did have a little back test, and we're about to just go absolutely nuts. I've got an inclination that we might actually be at the number 1 spot, but I'd love to hear your opinions on that in the comment section, because Bitcoin has rallied all the way up here, but keep in mind, Bitcoin has rallied 86% in 49 days. That's a big rally, and the last time that we saw a rally that large, because we have about a 90% rally in the course of 121 days, we had this little, you guessed it, 20 to 30% correction. We predicted that there could be up to, and I still get hate for this, it's so funny. We predicted that we could get up to about a 30% correction. We said a 20 to 30% correction. We had the 20% correction. It was in the range, right? We had a 20% drop, which is what we predicted from the day of the beginning of the drop. Like the day that we started correcting, I said, look, we're going back down to 0.618 at least. We might go farther, but we're at least going there. That's the only place that we went. A lot of people are saying 2. All right. I think that this kind of drop right here, this little breather, this is not a massive corrective movement, but this little breather, this little 20 to 30% breather could be around the corner. A 20% correction from where we are right now would be about $58,000, which, by the way, is essentially where the 0.786 level is on Fibonacci retracement. It's about 21%. So a drop down to $57,000 could happen. However, if that occurs, then Bitcoin is going to likely go on an absolute tear from there, because if you zoom out and you look at this market from an Elliott wave formation standpoint, we've got a 1 wave, a second corrective wave, a 3 wave. If we do have the drop, then there that goes. And that 5th wave is going to go absolutely parabolic and could probably take Bitcoin like straight to $100,000. So whether we see a major rally right now or not, one's coming. Worst case scenario in just the next few months, in my opinion. So here's the deal. Somebody asked in chat who's selling. Right now, I'll tell you who's selling. The people that are selling are the people that have made a bunch of money, and they bought all the way in. A while ago. You know, they bought in at like 25. And by the way, I'm not selling my Bitcoin. I have not sold Bitcoin. Man, it's probably been 3 years since I sold Bitcoin. I take that back. I did sell a little bit at one point during that time. But other than that one time, I don't think I've sold Bitcoin in about 3 years. I hold it basically forever. That's my philosophy. All right, I got a lot of it, and I'm very excited about that. Every time I talk to somebody in financial coaching, I love doing financial coaching with you guys. Every time I talk to somebody in financial coaching, here's what I find. I find that people had more Bitcoin in the last cycle, like 5 years ago, and then they traded it, and then now they have less. They don't have a lot of profit to speak of from all the trading. The investment, holding it for a long time. I'm confident in a Solana and Cardano for this cycle. I'm confident in Bitcoin for this century. So I'm going to hold it on that kind of time scale. I'm going to hold it for decades. I'm going to hold it for a very long time. And if I ever need it for an investment or to cycle it into another investment or something, great. That's what I'll do. But I'm holding it for a very long time. So if Bitcoin might be kind of done right here, then what do? Here's what we do. Because what I would hate to do is say, oh, just take your profit right now. I don't think it's time to take profit. What I would hate to do is to set you up to fail. So whether there's a rally or not, I'm going to give you the exact same formula I've given you over and over again that is going to make you money so long as the market does what we predict it will do. Here's your formula. Every single Friday, 2 p.m., 1 a.m., 3 in the morning, whenever, I don't care. Whenever on Friday, you are going to set aside an amount of money in your budget that you can afford to lose in your wealth generation fund. We're working on teaching you guys about personal finance. One of the things that you need to understand with personal finance is that you have a wealth generation fund, whether you know it or not. If you don't have a wealth generation fund, then that's why you are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay? If you don't have one, you need to set one up. That is an amount of money that comes out of your discretionary budget every month that you set aside for saving, investing, paying off debt, and building wealth and getting control of your finances. Out of that fund, you set aside however much money every week that you can afford. Maybe it's $100. That's a realistic number for most people. Maybe it's $50. That's also a realistic number for most people. Maybe for you, it's $1,000. Some people, it's $10,000 or $100,000, whatever it is. Set aside a realistic amount of money that you can pull out of your income, not out of a cash reserve, out of an income every month, and then you put that into crypto every Friday. And here's what you do. 3/4 of that deploy into the market, 1/4 of that put into a cash account and hold it on the side. Put it in 5% staking in USDC or put it in a 5% to 5.3% high yield savings account with an online bank. Put it in either one of those positions. USDC is obviously a lot closer to the exchange, so that's probably where you would like to put it. So if you put $100 every week in, put $75 into the actual market, into your altcoin portfolio and your Bitcoin portfolio, and put 25% or $25 in this case into that cash account. No matter what. Until you believe that it is no longer a good place to enter into the market. And in that way, you don't say, I'm going to stop dollar cost averaging at $72,000. Because Bitcoin, by all intents, we believe that it's going to go well over $100,000. You've got to make that decision for yourself, but I think that's realistic. What you do is you build up that cash account making 5%, and it's going to make less for now than if you had have deployed it into the market, generally speaking. But then, if Bitcoin does go through a 20% dive, then you have money to deploy, and that money will end up actually making you more money than your DCA money because you will be able to take advantage of opportunities. Millionaires and billionaires are made in market crashes because they had the ability to gobble up all of the other assets that were on discount that nobody else could buy because they were fighting to breathe. So set aside some cash. And here's exactly what you do. If Bitcoin does break through here, just continue dollar cost averaging until Bitcoin gets to probably $75,000 to $100,000. If it crashes, you continue dollar cost averaging and you don't change that. You don't change that week to week until you are done with the cycle. You leave that running. But then you double the amount that you put in every week, or you triple the amount you put in every week. You can't do that from your income because you've already put how much you can afford to lose out of the income. Then you deploy that extra money and you drain the cash account. And you lower your average cost basis that way. So if Bitcoin crashes, what do? You drain the cash account, you double the amount you put in every week, or if it goes far enough low, then you just put a lump sum in. You buy the dip with money that you saved so that you could buy the dip because we're planning for the future. We're being good planners. Nobody wakes up a millionaire unless they were born into it. And believe it or not, there's not that many people that are born into millions. They're very, very few and far between, either because people that make millions of dollars say, no, it'd be better for me to give him maybe $10,000 to start a business and make him earn it because the experience and the wisdom is way more valuable than the millions. So a lot of people nowadays aren't even giving their children much of an inheritance at all. Or two, the tax man comes and steals most of it. And so you typically don't just wake up with $1 million. Typically, you get $1 million. If you're like 99% of people, you get $1 million, or you get $100 million, or you get $1 billion, or you get $100,000 because you worked your freaking tail off for it. And you had a plan. And so I'm giving you a plan that is tried and true and is guaranteed to work so long as you do the work. And that is you put money in a cash account. And when you see an opportunity, then you buy it. It's that simple. So that's what you do if Bitcoin goes through a crash here and it falls below this uptrend, which based on this size of a bounce and based on how far we've already run, based on the technicals, if we were to go out to the daily chart, we look at the crypto Jeb oscillator, for example, which, by the way, if you want to get it, go to luxalgo.com/Jeb, sign up for Luxalgo. Luxalgo is saying the bulls are the strongest they've ever been. That tells me, oh man, maybe we're going to have a correction. We look at RSI. I'm going to bring that up for a second. Bring up the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. Bring that up. RSI says, boom, we're way up here at 78 on the weekly chart. RSI is at 88. Go over to CoinMarketCap. Fear and Greed's at 92. I mean, come on, guys. If this is not a signal that we might be looking at a short-term top, I don't know what is. If you look at the all-time high, this is the all-time high on Fear and Greed Index going back over a year. So, point. If it goes into a major rally, continue to dollar cost average. If it does not, and it goes through a major crash, then because you're doing what I asked you to do, then you are going to have cash on the side that you thought you were wasting money with, but you weren't because you were saving it for an opportunity, that you will have money on the side to buy in and deploy into the space. So shout out to all of you guys that are running that system. Is anybody running that system? Just give me a 1 in chat. Is anybody actually doing that? I hope there's a bunch of ones. At the end of the day, guys, whether it happens in a couple of months or it happens over the next couple of days, Bitcoin, I believe, is going straight to $100,000. Might be a small drop in the middle, but it's coming. It's coming. And every minute that Bitcoin spends above all-time high is another minute that just proves that Bitcoin has the right to trade at $72,000. It is drawing a line in the sand and says, no, actually, I do belong here. Guys, if you are just joining the stream, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys so very much. Let's read a little bit of chat here. It's John McAfee, not Robert. He was real life James Bond. Yeah, I met some people at a conference that used to know him, and the first thing they told me is it was faked. I'll let you guys fill in the blanks there. But met some of John McAfee's close friends, and that is the first thing they told me, with a frown on their face. It's the first thing they told me. 35 days to halving and more positive news coming. No chance. Let's see. There's no other market you can even compare Bitcoin to at this moment. Yes, Bitcoin is going insane, and it's going to continue to go into a massive rally. All right. Hello, guys. A huge greeting from Italy. Andiamo alla luna. I'm not sure what that means. What is andiamo? Andiamo? I'm going to look it up in case I just like cursed or something in Italian. No idea what that means. Let's go to the moon. Ah. Yes. Andiamo alla luna. Sure. Let's go to the moon. Cool. That's cool. All right. Okay, guys. Let's go ahead and look over here at CoinMarketCap and run down the charts. First thing I want to talk about here are some of your favorite gainers. XRP doing really well over the last 24 hours. It is up 12%. Cardano up about 0.5% over the last 24 hours. Guys, remember, a lot of these alts are going to take off, but right now, Bitcoin's got the interest. This is why I think a big movement's coming. This is what makes me sense that a big movement is coming. Bitcoin isn't really moving, and neither are the alts. Generally speaking, one of them is moving. Right? You know that. Generally speaking, one of those coins in one of those spaces, either the alts or Bitcoin, are moving a lot during a bull market. They're both kind of just sitting still. Ton is up a ton. Everything else just kind of sideways. That gives me kind of the heebie-jeebies, like, why? Well, remember the ball analogy. You take a ball, you throw it in the air. What happens at the top? Well, eventually it stops and it moves sideways. If you throw a ball into the air, eventually its vertical momentum shifts from in the upwardly direction against gravity to the downwardly direction, or in other words, towards the ground. To go from going up to going down, there must be a point in time where you're doing neither. Am I wrong? Right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If you throw a ball in the air, eventually it stops moving for an infinitesimally short amount of time, and then it starts going down. Well, the market acts like that too. Whenever the market is about to start going down from going up, it takes a minute and it stops and it doesn't do anything. Right? And that's what makes me wonder, if the market is pausing here and pretty much everything is stopping, even if Bitcoin just hit 73 as a new all-time high, but it got rejected, what's going on here? Well, the first thing I want to mention is, devil's advocate here. Bitcoin did have a small, Bitcoin did only have a very small correction. Hasn't gone through a giant corrective movement. So it's hard to tell right now what it's going to do. That's very difficult to predict a market in new territory because you don't have any, there's no map. How do you navigate in America when you're Lewis and Clark? And nobody that you know anyway has ever been there. There's people that have been there, the natives, but nobody's ever been there that you know the language of. How do you navigate? You don't know what to do. Where do I go? I don't know. I'm just going that way. I'm following the setting sun, right? It's kind of what we're doing in Bitcoin. We're following the setting sun. And so to some degree, we kind of just have to let the terrain guide us, and we kind of just have to watch and learn and listen. That's where Bitcoin is right now. A lot of sideways action up here because we got some pretty big entrenched bullish and bearish activity, about $1,000 above and $1,000 below. It's a lot of spinning tops. This is basically a spinning top out on the daily chart, guys. It's a topping formation. Might not mean we're going to top, but it for now at least is a topping formation. Hey, thank you very much to Rick4962 for donating $100. Like, wow, thank you very much, Rick. Rick is doing a great job. He's been watching the channel for a long time. Man, you have probably brought so many, I don't know how many thousands of dollars you have donated to the channel at this point. You donated $300 the other day. It's crazy. Thank you so much, Rick. Make sure that you are taken care of, but I happen to know that you're doing very well for yourself, so $100 is chump change for you, so thank you so much. And good on you for being so successful in business and in crypto. Everybody give him a thumbs up and a hand in chat. Ave Lancer, tu tranquillo y yo nervisio. Jeb. Mi es... yo, I believe that means I am calm and you are nervous. If I'm wrong, I would be kind of surprised because I know what all those words mean. But trying to formulate a response to you in Spanish. You calm and I'm nervous. Yep. Well, at the end of the day, when you've done something for a long time, it's easy to just kind of be stoic about it. See, here's the thing that I've learned about emotions. And this is where you actually are able to be level-headed. Have you ever had one of those squishy balls? Like, let me just... I was explaining this to someone last night. You ever had one of these like a stress ball, right? These things? You ever had one of these? You squeeze it, and then it just pops out another... Here's a great picture. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, Walmart. You squeeze it in a bunch of places, and then it just pops out, and like all of it goes in one direction. You see that? That's kind of how we treat our emotions. If we try and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze every single area of our emotions and keep them all bound up deep down inside, you know what happens? It all pops through right here in a bout of anger and in rage, or it all pops through here in a bout of depression, or it all pops through here in a bout of anxiety. You got to let off, and you got to let yourself feel. I'm not saying that you don't need to be in control of them, because let me just tell you something. If you're sitting there and crying and something generally made you sad, and somebody walks in the front door and says, bro, your son just got hit by a car, can you come out here and help? You need to have the self-control to shut that down and say, no, I got business to do right now. I'll let myself feel this later. I got to get to work. I got to be in self-control of this. I'm not saying that you don't have to be in control of your emotions, but if you always just clamp them down, you end up becoming unstable. And if you've ever done this with a stress ball, a lot of times what will happen, if it's not a very well-made stress ball, is the thing will burst because you put so much pressure on one part of it. And so that's where you actually build a stoic, calm demeanor, is by letting yourself feel, but you do it in a self-controlled manner. That's why when people say, hey, you're not fearless, you're brave. Someone who's brave is not fearless. They are afraid. They're just in control of themselves. True, not so much stoicism, because that's attached to the philosophy of the emperor, but true calmness. The Bible defines it as an excellent spirit. A wise man is of an excellent spirit, is what Proverbs says. A true excellent spirit comes from a man that is not afraid to be emotional, but is in absolute and total control of those emotions, as we ought to be self-sovereign over every facet of our lives. And they know when and where and how and why to share them, and when and where and how and why not to. Vin Duong said, at CryptoJeb, I've seen you grown since 19 years old. 19 years old, young man. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Yes, we have been very, it's been a very, very, very cool journey. Jeb has an awesome radio voice. Well, all of my attractiveness went into my voice and not into my face, because obviously, I mean, you'd probably just prefer if I just like, you know, that this would, you would, I would probably get so many more visitors to the channel if I just did this, right? I mean, isn't this better? I mean, I sound cooler than I actually look. If you turn the camera back on, it's like, oh man, look at his ugly mug. Gotta look at that all day. That's why I keep the charts up so much. Roel Hendricks in chat said, preach, Jeb, preach. Yeah. Cerveza. Donde es? Not donde. What's cerveza? Oh, beer, please. Yeah. And donde es el baño? Yeah, we know that one. Yeah, so cerveza, I knew that. Yeah, somebody said Darth Maul candlestick. That's exactly what we are. That's exactly what we are doing right now. Exactly, Darth Maul candle. Somebody just asked a great question. Any advice on keeping the wife happy? First and foremost, you need to be in the Word more. Nicholas Fellows. Not sure if you're a Christian or not. First things first, you will not be a very good husband. You will not be the husband you need to be until you are first the son of God that you need to be. So, I got a Latina, though. I do. I have a Latina. She's half from Puerto Rico. First thing you got to do is you got to be a good man of God. The Bible teaches men to be gentle. It teaches them to be leaders. It teaches them to be kind. It teaches us to see our wives as blessings, which I do. Great blessing, the greatest blessing I've ever been given after salvation. The Proverbs say in Proverbs 18:22, a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain blessings from the Lord. If you're kind to her, she will. She's a little bit like your wife is a little bit like a flower. If you water her and you care for her and you tend to her and you have love for her, she will bloom. But if you're harsh with her and you're mean to her and you neglect her, man, she's gonna wilt. If you want a happy life, there is a lot of truth to the phrase "happy wife, happy life." You know why? Because your job, your number one job in life, if you're a Christian, above your ministry, above your kids, above working in church, above all of that, is to tend to your wife. That is my number one job. Before this channel, before this stream, man, if she needs me and it can't wait, I'm dropping this and I'm gone. And I got to do that because I want to. I love my wife, right? If my wife gets hurt, sorry guys, I'm gone, right? You know what I mean? Is she number one in your life after the Lord? Your wife will be a lot happier when you see her that way. Because a lot of people say, oh, the kids are more important. Oh, the business is more important. Oh, I've got all this stuff. I got all this excuses not to put her second right after God. As soon as you do that, your relationship and your marriage will change and you will be a happy man. You will be a happy man. She will love you. My wife's from Peru. Understand that Latina vibe. Yash, we love our wives like Christ loves the church. That's right. And what did Christ do for the church? He died for her, man. If somebody put a gun up to her head, would you genuinely not think twice about jumping in front of it for her? If that's not true, then you are not the husband you need to be. And I'm going to call you out for her sake. And also for yours, mostly for her sake. Man, you got to be ready to die for her on a daily basis. And carry that burden and lead her. And leading her does not mean being an authoritarian, dictatorial man that is obsessed with obedience and submission. No, it's about dying for her on a daily basis and loving her and caring for her and caring about her needs before your own. That's how you become a good husband. Someone said, nah, it's your wife's number one job to tend to you. It's a man's number one job to protect and provide, not to cater to all her moods and whims. I'm not saying that there's not a place to correct your wife. And I'm not saying there's not a place to lead her in her emotions. But what I am going to say is that if you don't care at all, then why would you expect her to care at all? Because guess what? Men have emotions too. And if you are actually honest with yourself, you want your wife to care about how you feel also. So if you don't care how she feels, then yeah. If you don't care about her caring how you feel, and you think you got it all under control and you don't have any emotions and you're this robot, which by the way, you're not, but if you think that, you're wrong. If you want her to love you, then love her. And it's speaking to the women that are watching, the two of you that are watching, if you want your man to love you, then love him. Respect him and care for him, right? It goes both ways. We've got to put each other first. I put my wife first before myself, and she puts me first before herself, and that's why we have a beautiful marriage. And by the way, the whole submission thing, a woman will want to submit and follow the leadership of a man that loves her and is willing to die for her on a daily basis. It does not make you a man because you're going to bend her over and you're going to make her do everything that you want. And you're like, I'm going to slap the whip at you like you're my slave. She's not going to want to follow you, man. She will want to follow you and follow your leadership if you are trustworthy. and you've got a plan, and you say, in the finances, I'm going to follow what Jeb teaches, and this is going to lead us to success. And you say, with the kids, I'm going to follow people that have gone before us, and I'm going to lead us to success. And with our house, I'm going to lead us to success. And I'm going to do it with love, and I'm going to put you guys first. I'm going to die on a daily basis for you, and I'm going to care for you. And you know what's going to happen? She's going to say, man, I want to follow that guy. You're probably a man watching this. I'm a man. If I say the things that I say and I seem to be a good leader, you're going to say, man, I want to follow that guy. It's not about man or woman. God obviously put the man as the leader. But that's the burden. Not so much a privilege. That's a burden to be a leader. Man, if we got our marriages right, we would be so much better off. And if we understand the gospel, we will know that joy comes from loving others. Hedonism is what happens when we only love ourselves and we don't care about anyone else. I will tell you, as somebody who has given a lot of money in my life, I've gotten so much more joy from giving than I've ever gotten from spending on wants. And I'm not here to say it's a bad thing to spend money on things you want. It is okay. Man, I got like a $40 pen around here somewhere. I am okay with spending money on things that you want. And by the way, I'm about to tell you about something that I bought that I want, and now we're going to sell it because we just don't need it. It's okay to buy things that you want. I spent $50,000 on something I wanted. Now I'm going to sell it and see if any of you guys want to buy it. But it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea to, it's not bad to enjoy things. You know, Jesus enjoyed a glass of wine, right? Jesus enjoyed food. It's okay to enjoy things. What is not okay is to think that you're not going to get any enjoyment out of helping somebody. Because if you don't get any enjoyment, and I'm talking about literal joy out of helping someone, I'm here to tell you there's a heart problem, and you are not going to find joy until you find the joy in serving others. You will not find joy until you find joy in serving others. Sometimes and oftentimes at your own expense. Nicholas Fellows said, wow, I got my money's worth out of that question. I'll tell you why you got your money's worth out of that question, because I had to learn a lot of this stuff the hard way, man. I had to learn a lot of this the hard way. I really did. I really did, man. I've definitely not always been the man that I need to be. And I've had to learn a lot. Best money ever spent was on a high-end adjustable cooling bed. Boom, man. That's a want. That's okay. And that's awesome. Good for you. I love it. All right. By the way, I want to let you guys know that today's stream is brought to you by none other than NordVPN. If you sign up for NordVPN, you're going to be keeping yourself safe while you browse online. Quite simply, they are going to help you stay safe while you browse online by shrouding your IP address and keeping you protected. I like to think of NordVPN like a cloaking device. You turn it on and it cloaks you, and nobody can see you while you're browsing online. You walk around all sneaky and everything so that the hackers can't see you, and governments that are going to try and tell you what you ought to do can't see you. And I'm not saying to just go and be a rebel and try and overthrow the... I'm not saying all that, but I am saying that if the government says, hey, you can't go here, to be honest with you, is that any of their business? I don't think so. Try and be honest with it and don't use it for bad, but it's not everybody's business what you're doing online, man. Get NordVPN, sign up, get a 2-year plan. You're going to get a big discount through our link. Go to nordvpn.com/Jeb, and you guys will be protecting yourself for, you will be protecting yourself for while you're browsing online. David A. said, I'm 18. Any advice for me? Find a godly man to be your mentor. Hopefully that's your father. If it's not, that's okay. You can still love your father. Find a godly man. Maybe he's a pastor. Maybe he's someone like me that's working in the ministry. Maybe it's somebody that's going to lead you in right paths. The Bible says in Proverbs 1:9-10, my son, forget not the law of thy father, and my son, hear, my gosh, goodness gracious. My son, forget not the law of thy, my gosh, man, my brain forgets me sometimes. I literally review this verse every single morning. I'm not going to throw myself off. I'm going to make sure that I'm not misquoting it here. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother, for they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head and chains about thy neck. Find somebody that can be a spiritual father to you. That's the first thing that you can do. You're going to think, well, man, that's not going to help me get this new watch. That's not going to help me get a new car. That's not going to help me get a job. You have no idea, because you're 18 years old, how much that's going to help you. Find somebody to be your mentor who is a godly man, who believes in the Lord Christ, and will lead you in that. Second, get the quiet time right. Make sure you are reading God's word every single morning, and you have surrendered your life to him. Is the best advice I can give you, because I can show you how to get rich in this life, but only God can show you how to be rich in the afterlife. Can I get an amen from the Christians watching? Only God can show you how to be rich in the next life. And frankly, everything I'm going to teach you is rooted in the Bible anyway. So do those two things first. Third of all, The Proverbs teach that a man should get his work in order before building his home in the later chapters of Proverbs. And what that means is get yourself some kind of marketable skill before you go get married and have kids. Find a way to get a marketable skill and figure out how to manage a home with just you in it, and figure out how to manage some finances, get a little bit of money stored up, get a budget, have an idea about how to work with money, have an idea about how to work with people, have a basic philosophy on these things. It's okay if you're learning a lot after you get married. You're going to learn most of the things you'll ever learn after you get married. There's a bunch of amens in chat. You're going to learn most of the things that you're ever going to learn in life after you get married, but at least have some idea about how you're going to make money, how you are going to protect your family if you're really weak and scrawny like I was when I got started, and then go to the gym, put a little bit of muscle on. A woman feels safe when you got a lot of muscles, so long as you were a good and not an angry man. Put some foundations in place. You don't have to build the whole house. You're going to build the whole house after you find her. And if you choose to be single, that's okay. Some people are called to that. No shame in that. I'm assuming you probably want to get married. Most people want to get married. It's totally fine. Find a good mentor. Be in church. Read the Bible. Get that figured out. Figure out your philosophy on the spiritual walk. After that, figure out the money side of things, what you're going to do to earn money. Figure out how you're going to give that money, how you're going to be generous with that money, how you're going to spend that money on wants, how you're going to invest that money, all the stuff that we teach. Spend money on yourself. Have some fun. Go enjoy yourself. You're 18. The world is your oyster. Go make $10,000, spend $1,000 of it going on a road trip. Go have some fun. Go get experiences. Go discover yourself. After you've done all that, you're probably in your early 20s. At that point, it's like, all right, I've got a little bit of a foundation. I'm a little bit of a man. I carry myself with a little bit of confidence because, man, I know who I am. I am God's child, and I am working every day, and I am praying that God will turn me into the man that I need to be, that one day when I stand before him, he will say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Here are the keys to this mansion that I have prepared for you. I'm working every single day for the betterment of the kingdom and sharing the gospel with others so that they will see this beautiful gift that I myself have been given. And when you have that, then you will walk with a different kind of confidence that will shine like a light, and nobody can take it from you no matter what happens, so long as you're walking with him. Again, after that, figure out how to get the field in order. The Bible says for a man to get the field in order and then get the house in order. Basically, if you are going bankrupt, then you got no business trying to build a big family. If you're going bankrupt, man, hold off on the kids if you're already married. If you're on the path of bankruptcy, do something about that, man. You can't afford any more of them. Before you continue to build the house, make sure that your house is safe. The lions aren't going to come in. The thieves aren't going to come in. You've got some money so you can afford food. Put that foundation in place while you're learning and growing and discovering and having fun. And then eventually, after you have shown that you can be a faithful steward of everything you have around you, then, if you're blessed enough, God will show you your wife. You guys will build a life together. So if you're 18, that's what I would recommend to do. I've been 18 before. Man, I did some of that. I didn't do all of it. I wish I had done all of it, but I did some of it. And eventually, I did all of it. I wish I was doing all of it at 18, but don't put all this pressure on yourself, man. So long as you got your relationship with the Lord figured out, the rest of it can take as much time as it needs. Is this a crypto channel? It is, but ultimately, if I get you guys... If I take this cup... I want you guys to be successful through and through. Can we agree on that? I want you to be successful 100%, not just on the outside, right? If I take this cup and I take a sponge and I clean the outside of this cup, that's a cool cup. My wife got me this. It's a cool cup. Whoa. The coffee just barely missed my lanyard. It's a cool cup. See the coffee running down it. Husband cup. See if it'll focus. If I clean the outside of this cup, which now I need to, because I just spilled coffee on it, you can see it right there. If I clean the outside of the cup, but I don't clean the inside of the cup, is the cup clean? Well, it looks clean from the outside. We don't clean the inside of the cup, then we are going to not be clean all the way through. We got to clean the outside of the cup, and part of the outside of the cup is this surface level knowledge about, all right, how do I do technical analysis? That's important, and we talk about that. But I also want to help show you how to clean the inside of the cup. You've got to be able to be the man and woman that you need to be in every part of your life. Guys, let me tell you something. I've made millions of dollars in my career. And in certain times, it has completely destroyed me. In times, it was one of the biggest curses that I was ever given. Because I was not the man. If I were a woman, I'd be saying woman. I was not the man that I needed to be to manage it correctly. And it would lead me to being lazy. It would lead me to maybe being angry sometimes, or, self-centered, or idolatrous, or not reading my word because my faith was in my money. I didn't realize it at the time, and it wasn't terrible. I was just immature. It wasn't that I was trying to do that. I just still had a lot to learn and grow. There's a lot of people that are coming into crypto thinking that that is going to change their life, and it will help change your life. But there's a lot more to having a life changed than just having a larger bank account. I've learned one lesson in the last 7 years. That's it. It's so hard with women today. They want more than the average Joe can offer. Listen, there's a lot of men that are just like that. That is a both genders issue. What I will say, you become the man you need to be and you follow God, and I tell you what, you will be surprised the kind of blessings that he gives you, because sometimes God brings you through the valley so that you can learn lifelong lessons that you will spend the next 80 years reflecting on, and you'll be able to teach from. Because I tell you what, some of the hardship I've been through in the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 years of my life, I would not trade for anything. I would not trade for anything, even though it sucked in the moment. I want you to actually be successful. A lot of newbies are going to enter the space during the bull market. They need someone level-headed like Jeb. That's the goal, man. My goal from the beginning has not been, let me be very clear, it has not been to teach you crypto. That's been a goal, but that has not been the goal, as in the principal goal. The principal goal has been to change your life and use finances as a jumping-off point for that. Because finances are one of the most important parts, one of the most important areas of life. They're not the most important area, but they're one of them. Oh, man. Just listen to his crypto talk and tune out the rest. He does seem pretty smart financially. Yeah, so, guys, I bought this thing, and I want to sell it. And I'm really interested in seeing if any of you guys want it. We bought, about 6 months ago, man, I like trucks. My first vehicle was a truck. I don't know if you guys know. My first truck was a 2004 Ford Explorer Sport Track. I paid $5,192.92 in cash. Man, I put $5,200 on the table, and I said, there you go. You keep the change. You keep the 8 cents or the $8 or whatever. That was my first vehicle. There's actually a video like 5 years ago on the channel of me drifting it in a grass parking lot because it was rear-wheel drive. It was little like sport utility truck. It was like small. It was built on the Ford Explorer powertrain. Man, that thing... When we bought it, somebody said, oh, man, you're up a creek. You bought a Ford Exploder. And I said, what? I just bought, this is my truck, man. Don't talk about my truck that way. I spent more money fixing that thing, and I got on a first-name basis with a tow truck driver. I'm not even kidding, man. I forgot his name now, but I knew him. Like, I knew he was telling me his story and how he lost a wife, all this stuff. So, obviously, we have the Camry. That truck literally caught on fire about 3 years ago. We were just in the same parking lot yesterday. I was like, hey, right over there is where my truck caught on fire 3 years ago. So don't drive that anymore. Drive a Camry. 6 months ago, we bought a Ram 3500 Laramie. And to be honest with you, I don't drive it enough. It's just not really worth it, man. The thing, it's such a great vehicle. You know, for like a general contractor, I know a lot of you guys are in construction. It is such a luxurious vehicle. I love this truck, but to be honest with you, my whole philosophy is to be sovereign. And part of being sovereign is not having something that you're not really going to use very much. I don't use it very much. It just kind of sits there. So I've got a Ram 3500. We're asking $53,000 for it. So if anybody is interested, I'll go ahead and show you I'll get some more pictures and everything. If anybody wants to buy Jeb's giant dually that can haul 35,000 pounds, then feel free to let me know. Looks kind of like this. It's gray. Like I said, I'll get you a picture. It's got 78,000 miles on it. We bought it second owner. It's been very well taken care of. There was a minor incident with a deer, but of course, a giant truck like this, it didn't make any difference. It's in perfectly good shape. Looks brand new, glorious, beautiful on the inside. It's got leather interior. Got a giant iPad touchscreen on it. Climate control, all kind of climate control. It's 2019, so it's got the new front end things, turbo boost. So it's got a 3500 Cummins turbo diesel engine in there. I love it, but to be honest with you, I'm just not going to use it. So it's just kind of sat there for 6 months. We've driven it a little bit, but you know, if we need to pick up a dresser or something, we've driven it. But other than that, just to be honest with you, just kind of sitting there. So if anybody's interested in a 3500 turbo diesel, this is actually exactly what it looks like. This is exactly what it looks like. It's a crew cabin, full-size back seat. It's gigantic. This is literally exactly what it looks like. If anybody's interested, I'm going to put an email in chat for the person that does my sales. And if any of you are interested, then I'm going to give you Malachi's email, malachipats@cryptojeb.com. He does our sales. He's the one that works on the sponsors and everything on Blowfin, Nord, all that stuff. Shoot him an email, and he can get to talking to you guys about it. It's a great truck. It's got 1 billion cameras on it. So freaking cool. So cool. Yeah, we got that pickup. So if anybody's interested, let me know. Like I said, we're selling it. Money's probably going to go into crypto. So there you go. More money for crypto. Just kind of one of those things we don't really need. So that Cummins engine is insane, by the way. I mean, it can literally, we have hauled a 16,000 pound camper behind it, and it didn't feel like there was anything on it. 16,000 pound camper on there. Felt like it was nothing. Oh, and it's got the full tow package too. And if you're interested, then we have a big hitch also for fifth wheels. But it's got everything there. It's got the electronic braking system. It's got the electronic braking system, all of that. So if anybody's interested, let us know. Let us know. It doesn't have a tow hitch in the front. It's got two tow. It doesn't have a hitch in the front, but it's got the two anchors where you can anchor, like straps and stuff to it. Let's see. Yeah, it kind of looks like this in the front. I don't know if you can see this picture right here. Let's see. It's got the two hooks in the front, and I'm sure that you could put a hitch on it. Let's see. This is kind of what the front looks like. This isn't our truck, but you got the two little hitches right there. Yeah, and it's got a spot for a trailer hitch. Again, this is not our truck, but this is a very similar truck. It's got the spot for the hitch in. It doesn't have the hitch in it right now, but you can just kind of slot it in there, you know. It's got the sideways opening back seat. Leather seats. This is not a Laramie, so it looks cooler than this on the inside. But yeah, so if anybody's interested, shoot Malachi an email. Very nice truck, but like I said, the thing about vehicles is that their largest asset that you buy that depreciates. I don't want to just sit there and watch it depreciate. I'm not going to use it, right? I mean, it's a beautiful truck. I would rather it be in the hands of somebody that's going to use it. Like I told Malachi the other day, I was like, this is a truck that like a general contractor is going to buy, or somebody. The thing's huge. It's a yacht. The thing's like 20 something feet long. It's crazy. I mean, this thing, it's literally powerful enough to haul a semi behind it if you got the right hitch for it. You could literally haul a semi trailer behind it. A 53-foot full on 18-wheeler trailer. It's strong enough to do that. This thing will just, it's crazy. So feel free to shoot us an email, malachipats@cryptojeb.com. He is the individual that does our sales. Very, very awesome person. So if you reach out to him, you guys will see how amazing our team is. Malachi is absolutely incredible. He's made a lot of money in crypto. Man, he rolled up one time in a brand new Honda Civic. It had 5 miles on it. He said, man, I've been investing in crypto. You got to come out here and check something out. And I walked out there and said, what's up? He said, you see that car over there? I said, yeah. He said, I just bought that. It's got 5 miles on it. I said, you what? Oh my goodness. Been investing in crypto. Made some money. So cool. Shout out to him. My little brother has that truck, 2015 with the Cummins. That thing will last forever. Very good investment, though. Yeah, I mean, that thing is indestructible. It is, I mean, the Ram just makes incredible turbo diesels. It is so freaking fun to drive. It is so fun to drive. But I follow my own philosophy. My own philosophy is, look, if I'm not going to use it, I'm going to get rid of it because I don't want to sit there and have to worry about oil changes and all this. I got other stuff to focus on, man. So maybe one day in the future. But for right now, we're selling it. So if anybody's interested, we're in Florida, North Central Florida. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to deliver it, so, you know, there's a range factor there, too. But if anybody's interested or knows anybody that's interested, let us know. Like I said, we're asking $53 for it. That's a pretty fair market value. We're willing to negotiate a little bit on it, but honestly, that's a pretty good deal for it. So let us know. All right. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream. Got some cool content coming out this afternoon on Ethereum. By the way, Micah Hall just joined as a Jedi Padawan. I'm so sorry, Micah, that I missed that. I'm really looking forward to us meeting in person. Micah's been a longtime subscriber and fan of the channel, so thank you so much, Micah. Not fan, I don't want to put those words in your mouth, but viewer of the channel, I will at least say that. So shout out to Micah Hall. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. Roel Hendricks said, my fundamental skill is subscribing and watching Jeb, every Jeb video, and investing. There we go. Take care of your body as if you're going to live forever. Take care of your soul as if you're going to die tomorrow. Love it. Love it. Be kind to yourself, too. Yes, absolutely. Be kind to yourself. Okay. David A., hopefully that was some helpful advice there, my friend. I'm not much older than you. He said, thanks a lot. Absolutely. I appreciate the willingness to hear what I had to say on that. All right. Let's see. Just going to read a little bit more chat, and then we're going to wrap it out. Sweet James. Oh, rockabye, sweet baby James. Blockchain James in chat. I'm in Daytona. Daytona's beautiful. My brother might be interested in a truck. Cool. Send it my way. You guys got the email, malachipats, MALAKIPATZ @cryptojeb.com. Again, he is our director of sales, and he generally is working on sponsorships and all that, and working on the back end of the relationships. But I sent him the truck to sell, so he's in charge of that. So if you want to, meet me, buy Crypto Jeb's truck, then feel free to shoot him an email. He'll be in charge of that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed today's stream. I am going to go ahead and wrap it out here, and we've got a lot more content coming, so stay tuned. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.